fought and curtailed Ebola. This is an emergency. We have a security situation in Nigeria. It's an emergency situation. And we ought to look for emergency way to tackle it. Having said this, I support what Mr. Yenasho have suggested. It's very professional advice. But I also want to look at the situation realistically. We have areas that are prone to crime. The school at Ikorodu that they kidnapped girls, from what I heard, around there are uncompleted buildings, and the fence was dwarf. So they ought to know. We should know areas that are prone to, like Ketu is densely populated with the Hausas, you know, flowing from what he said, having an architecture, you should be able to identify areas that are prone to crime and then be prepared. You don't need to wait for there to be crisis, you know. So, and again, Lagos State is surrounded by water. And we have seen that there's some little improvement in information. People pass information when they notice suspicious movement. But then, if you look at all the attacks we've had from hoodlums recently in Lagos, they are from the waters, from the creeks. So, I remember when the Lagos State government donated some vehicles and boats to the state police. Now, it shouldn't be difficult to tackle that problem because we've had armed robbery, Ikorodu, from the creek, robbery from Lekki, from the creek, robbery in Festac, from the creek. So this information ought to make the police and the Navy to come up with an arrangement. And if they have a solid arrangement, that will improve security in Lagos State. Because most of that, I'm very, very sure the kidnappers of these girls from the corridor houses also came from the creek. Because I'm aware that the security agencies have beamed their searchlight on the creeks. And they are even going out the creeks outside Lagos, which means something ought to be done. The killing of policemen and SSS men were guys from the creeks. So we need to do something. There are areas that are prone to crime, and there are houses that we need to block.
Okay, let me bring in these comments from some of our viewers. Von Akbochi says, the police lack intelligence. As a result, they become violent, aggressive, and intimidating. Symptoms of low self-esteem. Yes, that person is very correct. But what they can do, I'm aware that the welfare of police is nothing to, is very low. And you go to their barracks, very dirty. You go to their police, the station, very dirty, no light. Yesterday I was with the DPO at Papa. We had to come outside because he couldn't stay in his office. So I think something needs to be done to improve the welfare of police. They are not well paid, and you can't send an hungry man out to go and fight crime. And they don't have vehicles to use. Most of the vehicles are never enough. And they don't have maintenance culture too. They don't maintain the vehicles given to the police. The police should have an arrangement that will make their station, their barracks, their vehicles to be maintained. They don't have. I'm aware that they have the
Army
workshops.
has Army Corps of Engineers that handles its infrastructure.
In the military.
That's the military.
Police has the workshops. They have mechanical. They have transport, but they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. Because if they are doing what they are supposed to be doing, look at the brand new vehicle that the Lagos State governor has just donated to the police. Wait for 2-3 years. You won't see them on the street. They become rickety. They can't move them. And if you go to find out what's wrong, very little problem. Maybe one little problem, brake pad, as small as that, can ground their vehicles.
And how can a policeman in a Hilux chase an armed robber who has stolen a BMW?
No, they don't need. If we have good communication arrangements and deploy technology, you don't even need to chase. You only need to identify the vehicle and inform those at the front.
But in other places, the police have fast cars that are in good, not battered Hiluxes like we see on Lagos.
No, but if you communicate, right?
Yes.
If you watch, you see. I don't know if you've experienced this where police flag you down unnecessarily.
Yes. Information
have gone around that so vehicle is moving towards so area. So you keep flagging down vehicle to slow traffic, so that if that vehicle is within that traffic, it will be easy to carry.
If I might chip in something here, talking about chasing criminals or suspects, you also must take into consideration the traffic situation
Exactly.
in Lagos. Say in a place like Apapa, you know, or Oshodi, you know, and then even coming in this, to this place this morning. So if there was a crime, I mean, probably we need to design some vehicles that can fly.
That robber, if there was a crime, that robber isn't going anywhere. He's likely to be caught.
Exactly.
Well, no. So I think we need to improve on the logistics. We need to improve on the communication apparatus of the police.
Exactly.
Not only the police, in fact, all the security agencies. You know, we need to deploy and have control rooms. You know, decentralize them. You know, such that you have access to report and call on to them.
Okay, as we wind down, this statement is credited to former president of the late president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. He says, "To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." So, on that statement, let's begin to give our closing remarks. Let me begin with you, Captain Hanacho.
Yes, I would say to all of us that there is need for us to regulate, particularly public institutions. And when we do that, they should also be captured in the security plan of the environment where they are domiciled. And I will also say that the kind of threat that we have today is a wide departure from what it used to be. It is now, like I said, asymmetric in nature, and therefore we need to also re-engineer our security apparatus in order to capture the emerging threat that we have today. We need to, like I said before, the security starts from us. The government, if you watch NTA network news, you see jingles telling us about how to be security conscious, how to recognize and ask questions when you see something that is suspicious and stuff like that. To that extent, I think it's a good job. But I think there's a lot more to be done. We need to re-engineer our security thinking. Our security thinking needs to be re-engineered. It's departed from what we used to. We are still thinking the same old way, that the threat we are having is new. So there is a mismatch, and therefore we need to be ahead of the game by re-engineering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colonel?
Yes, I believe my parting word here is that we need to fight corruption, because you discover that even with the past administration, we're supposed to have closed circuit televisions deployed, especially in Abuja and major part of Lagos. But you find out that most of these things are not even functioning, and these are what you expect that will help in fighting crime. And our streets, apart from the roads being fixed, the streets should be well lit, because criminals, they don't like it light. So, they don't like where there's light. They enjoy it when it's dark. So there's need for us to step up on this. The cities, the streets should be well lit. And of course, again, our police, because the policeman is the first point of contact when it comes to security. So citizens should feel free, should not be scared approaching a policeman. For example, people should not be made to feel that they have to resort to self-harm.
Must they always frown? Anytime you meet a policeman, they always have this cowl on their face.
That is it. It's a transferred aggression, because the man is not happy. So
as you're coming to him to report that someone just hit me there, he has this hard look on his face, and yes, what you want. Okay, all right.
But it could be better.
It could be better.
It could be better.
Mr. Daniel, let me add this before you give your own. Gbemi Oyebisi says, every administration since 1999 has been giving the police vehicles. Let there be an audit of the police.
Just like I said, Yeah? You give them vehicle today, the next day, after some years, it becomes a rickety thing. Yeah. Now, I want to, my parting words with reference to Alibaba's joke that when we're looking for African Pride, that vessel that got missing, you remember some years back, and he said somebody came to the police to say his Okada was missing, and he said, your Okada. Ship miss, we never feel here, they talk of Okada. Anyway, I haven't said this. I think we need to improve on the welfare of the police. We need to do that, and we need to set up an external auditing of not just the police, but the other, because sometimes maybe some funds will be deployed for logistics, and it's not really used for that purpose. We are aware of IGs that are facing trial or that have faced trials in the past, and I want to say that we need to also deploy area surveillance, particularly in Lagos. When that incident happened in Ikorodu, if we have a chopper, a machine gun chopper, it can get there within few minutes and probably would have saved the situation. I have not seen, I don't know how many chopper we have, the Lagos State Security, police. I don't know, even the national level, I don't know how many we have, but we need shoppers, we need such to be deployed there, and I want to say that we are the security to ourselves. We have to be extremely conscious now, ever than before, of what happens within our environment. If a stranger comes into your environment, your immediate community, you will know that this man is a stranger. So you can ask, question. Then finally, I think we should improve on electricity. If we improve on electricity, it will go a long way to solving. It will solve not less than 30% of all our problems, including security.
All right. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Tony Dania, a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming. Yami Dare, Colonel Yami Dare, and retired Group Captain Felix Ihanacho. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sunrise will be back in a moment for another discussion or conversation, as the case may be. Don't go away.
Imagine